Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today's the day we finally get to start talking about Master Ability 2s coming to global. Our first 4 units are getting their Master Ability 2 upgrade this week, and it's a big deal because if you're a fan of these old units, it is the attempt of the developers to boost them in to the modern day, to the modern power curve of the game. In some cases, I think they succeed. In some cases, I think the unit still will lag a little bit behind, but in all cases, the unit will be more usable than it was previously, and that's a big deal. So let's start by talking about Prince Mont, right? The original, the OG main character of the game. But real quick, before we get into there, I do want to shout out the sponsor of today's video, the Amazon App Store. You guys know they support the channel. You guys know that they support a lot of the content creators in the War of the Visions community. I'm updating the link for the next several days in my description to bring you to this page for the special 3% Amazon coin back deal that's going to be running from February 23rd through February 25th. Real simple to do. You click the link in my description, which thank you to everybody who does that. It matters a ton. And it takes you to this page. On this page, it tells you how to download the game for the Amazon App Store or to switch over to that version of the game if you can. And then it talks about this special deal where any coins that you spend in-game from those dates, the 23rd through the 25th, you will just receive 3% of all the coins you spent back to you. So that's really cool. And then if you need to buy some coins after you click the link, right here at the bottom, this light blue text, you click on that, it will take you to the page to actually buy the coins. And that's how I get some of the money instead of, instead of just Amazon getting all the money. Me, Diggs, whoever's link you use, that's how you hook us up. Thank you guys for doing that. Back to the video. And he gets probably the coolest upgrade of our first 4. It's the best upgrade of the first 4 anyway. So here's what it looks like. As you see on the screen here, this top area under Master Ability, this is the original Master Ability. And for Prince Mont, 15 defense and 1 jump was legit. That's a great Master Ability, especially for an MR unit. And it kept him viable. Like if you were a brand new player, building Prince Mont didn't feel bad. You had a pretty good physical tank. He does get a big upgrade here, and it starts with the elemental buff. Now, being an MR unit, his elemental buff is not the same as what the UR unit's elemental buffs are. His is an HP buff, which is a little bit less than the UR unit's HP buff to the Earth allies. But he also gets a unique one, disable resistance 25% for all of his Earth allies. So if you're running this guy in a mono element Earth group, PvE, you're going to have disable resist, PvP, you're going to have disable resist. That's nice. Disable is an absolutely devastating ability. Dwayne can do it to you, and Dwayne's AoE disable is one of the things that makes him like a really dang good unit. So I like this, and I like how with the MR units, it looks like they might go a different route. Give them a little uniqueness instead of just trying to boost them to UR power. Now, his defense and jump +1, those stay the same. Those are unchanged. They just carry over from his original Master Ability. But then he also picks up pierce resistance 25%, and the biggest deal here, increased chance of being targeted 5. He gets 5 hate innately. That is the biggest deal. Like previously with Mont, you had to run Vow of Love for him to have hate on turn 1. You might have to run the Producer's Bow Tie, which nerfs his movement. Not anymore. Not anymore. You have that hate to start the fight. Then he can go look for his Taunting Blades to gather some more if you want him to be your true tank. Or you can just put him off on a side of the map and mess with the enemy team's AI. That is such a huge upgrade. Now, when it comes to this Pierce Resistance 25, if I put the game back on the screen here for a second, the Pierce Resist 25 is a big deal for Mont. He's supposed to be a physical tank, and he has base -5 Pierce Resist. This will bring that to 20, which will help his physical tanking a lot, especially with some of the stronger Pierce units in the game being a threat. Still going to be weak to missile and still very weak to magic. So not going to be a magic tank. He's not getting that, that's not getting boosted for him at all, but he's going to be a better physical tank, more hate, solid. They did this dude an absolute solid, and if I'm talking about boosting him, he gets a massive boost, usable in all forms of content in my opinion now. Awesome job. Okay, his brother. We've got Stern before his ultimate emo phase, and Stern's always been kind of an emo character in the game, but that's to be expected because he had F- tier dad, right? Like, I still don't fully understand why Oelde did what he did, but he did it. So anyway, here's Stern, brother of Prince Mont, and look at his original master ability, critical damage 25. And when the game first came out and we had Stern used to be able to like crit people with shurikens and kill them. But we didn't have like good gear. We didn't have any armor. There wasn't a ton of defense in the game. And so that was like really OP. Stern fell off a mountain when it comes to power creep. Like, he has a big attack stat, but man, this needed an upgrade, and he gets it. So, first of all, he gets the elemental upgrade. HP plus 10% for your dark allies, and dark attack plus 15 for your dark allies. I believe I misspoke when I was talking about Mont. I think I said that this 10% buff was less than the UR units. I was confused. It's the same. All of them, it looks like they're getting the 10% buff. It's the 15 is the dark attack. So my bad on that previous thing with Mont. Anyway, he gets the HP and the dark attack. So you can now run him in a mono dark party and feel better about it because you're not missing out on that elemental buff that a newer dark unit would give to the group. That's a big deal. His critical damage plus 25 stays unchanged. That's whatever. But then he gets a crucial defense penetration plus 20. Now, this is something that you're going to see as a like common denominator for these old DPS units. Any new unit that's coming out in this game right now has some sort of like defense pin or spirit pin or a resistance penetration because there's so much better gear in the game than there was now. There's better units in the game than there were back then. So there's more defense, there's more spirit around. Giving these old units some defense penetration is a way to try and like you bump them up a little bit in their ability to not just get super tanked. 20 defense pin is not going to do that job by itself. The AoE resistance by 10 is a chance to make him a little bit more tanky because this guy's really squishy. So maybe one AoE won't knock him out of the fight anymore. I don't know. I see how it synergizes with his TMR, but this isn't a TMR that a lot of people level and use anyway because it's just a single target buff. But if you stack this TMR with this new master ability, that's 45% AoE resist right off the top, which isn't terrible. So I see kind of what they're going for there. I just don't think this will make regular Stern OP. I do think it will make him more usable, and I think there's some fans out there who will enjoy using him, especially now that you can splash him into some dark element teams and get this stacking HP and dark attack buff with your allies. So there you go. That's regular Stern, brother of Mont. Let's go to our next guy, and speaking of poor fathers, the next guy is the poor dad himself, and I don't mean poor financially. The man's a king of a country, he's got cash, he just doesn't have any parenting skills, and that's King Oelde himself. Now, King Elde's original master ability, pretty dang good. HP plus 10% and attack plus 20%. And if you were just judging old units by their master ability, this is legit, right? Like, just HP and attack. I'm just going to be thicker and do more damage. Awesome. But again, where's the penetration? Where's all that stuff? It didn't age super well, but it's still HP and attack, which is timeless, right? So anyway, the first upgrade that he gets is the upgrade to skill Leonis Wall. Now, if we go into his skills here and take a look at Leonis Wall, that is his limit break, and you'll see it come up here on the bottom of the screen right here in a second as my thing glitches. Here it is. So it is his limit break. It reduces his damage by 50% for 3 times. So it provides him a 3-time shield and gives him 6 hate. The upgrade here is it goes from 1 cast to 2. So I like what this upgrade is attempting to do because it's attempting to make him more viable in like a Guild Wars format as a fire tank. Now, fire doesn't hurt for tanks, right? You have King Mont, you have Rain, so I don't know that they needed another tank in fire, but it is cool giving him another use of that. So, okay, I dig that. Then he gets the HP and fire attack buff for his group, 10% and 15 fire attack. So, okay, he gets that, more modernized there. Then his HP buff goes up to 25% for himself, and his attack steroid goes up to 30%. So, they're just bringing his stat pool in line. They're just saying, here you go, we're going to boost your stats, see what you can do. It doesn't change the fact that he is a Lancer. And like, this hurts my heart because, you guys know I love Eileen. But like, Lancers, when we look at their kit here, their only AoE is like Earthen Glory, and it's this point-based AoE. They're very like single target, rely a lot on finding a way to get some defense penetration to do damage. He's not getting any of that, so I think he's still going to need a lot to be considered like a top tier unit. He's more usable than before, but I still think he's the bottom tier of UR units in the game. I hope somebody can prove me wrong. I know there's some King Oelde fans out there that really like this dude and would like to see him succeed. So if you have some videos, send them my way. All right, next up, we've got another king of, of a nation here. We've got King Robb, Ma Cherie's daddy. A much, by the way, better father than King Oelde. Now, Robb, of these units, King Robb over here was by far the most usable unit of them all. Like, yeah, a lot of people use Prince Mont. He was free. He's your first unit. But Robb, in-game, like, light evasion teams was already pretty top tier. Like, one of the better light evasion units in the game. I mean, nobody's Starlight Elena, but you got Robb, right? So, his master ability was crit rate 10, which is nice for damage, and evasion rate 5, which helped him dodge. Very cool. He gets the HP and light attack buff for his light allies. So there we go. We're modernized. Then his crit rate buff stays the same, but he gets 10 more evasion added to his evasion rate master ability. This is nice. So he's still going to be a light evasion unit. He's going to do a little bit more damage and have a little bit more HP based on the, HP and light attack buff. And then he gets 20 defense pen. So he does get access to some of that crucial defense penetration that newer units have. This is a win. King Robb was already really good. I think he's becoming even better. And I would watch out for some really like hardcore mixed damage light evasion teams featuring Starlight Elena and Robb, one of which is tanked by Spirit, one of which is tanked by defense, both of which though are tanked by slash resistance. So that might be the way to beat them. But Robb getting much better here, and he was already really good. So that's it, guys. That's the video over our first upgrade of Master Ability 2s and kind of my thoughts on them. I'm really looking forward to the second batch. I'm really looking forward to Prince Mont seeing some use, especially in limited cost formats where running an MR tank is often a really viable strategy. Earth gets a boost there. Still doesn't counter wind, and wind's still going to be everywhere, but Earth gets a boost. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.